Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Behind the Veil, a show that provides insight into the world of weddings. It's a good day because obviously the world is coming back, and so are events. But with that come all the fun and joy of travel plans and room blocks and details. Some of the stuff that, most people go, oh, really? I don't really want to have to deal with that. But it's important that you have some knowledge. And we have two incredible gentlemen here that have all the skinny on what you need to know when it comes to as far as room blocks, contracts, and negotiations, as far as what you need to include. But before I bring them on, let me introduce Marcy Gutenberg with Unfair to Remember by Marcy. Hello, Marcy.
Hi, Keith.
And I know that you said it yourself, like weddings and events are coming back with like the floodgates have opened.
Exactly. I'm so excited.
Yeah. And now more than ever, we've learned that you got to pay attention to the contract. It's not like your Apple device. You can't just scroll down and click on it. You better dig in a little bit.
Read.
Right, exactly. And who loves reading more than Brooke Logan Stoner?
The devil's in the details. I'm here. Detailing.
Oh,
Good
my
afternoon,
goodness.
everyone.
Oh, so let me introduce Roberto Cosentino and Michael McGee, the owners of DME Meetings and Incentives. Robert is a managing partner, is a veteran of the banking industry with over 15 years of experience. And in parallel, he was an international professional ballet dancer and later on a choreographer for shows throughout Europe and US. Hello, beautiful. And Michael started his career way.
Yeah, I know. I think I dated Michael.
86. Ooh, wrinkle. Anyway, so, but I love the fact that you began your career in 1986 as a banquet director and worked your way up through the hotels. So you know everything that there is to know about hotels inside and out. I mean, all the way up until when I worked with you at the Hyatt Regency, where you were a director of sales. Were you a director of sales at the Hyatt Regency?
National sales. Focused on pharmaceutical conferences.
Oh, that's right. So, full disclosure, Michael and I have known each other for a really long time. So there may be some tea that's spilt during this particular show. But
I'm real thirsty. Spill it.
Oh, look! Oh no! Brooke's like, I'm real thirsty. All right, so
you had me at time to do clothes, honey.
So, okay, let's talk about this because honestly, when people think about room blocks, it is kind of a boring subject. They really, you have to do it. It's like, oh, I know we have to have a room block, but a lot of people just defer to the venue that they're having their ceremony at. Right. But I tell people, don't be that short-sighted. I mean, right. The ceremony location is a venue, just like if you had gone to a church or other. Look at other hotels around there and look at for different price points. But where does somebody begin? Let's start there. They've decided, we're getting married at the Lowe's. I'm just pulling that out of my butt. All right, but we're getting married at the Lowe's. What next? What do they have to do?
Well, they call us since we're the mission, of course.
Well,
I'm sorry.
You refer them,
right.
So the reason why we're the meeting planners for clients is because of our history and our knowledge of contracts with hotels. I used to set the rates at the Hyatt, same with Roberto. So I know how far hotels will go down in their rate and their concessions and offer concessions. So as an example, if I reach out to the Lowe's or any other hotel for a particular bride or groom, they're going to reach out. They're not going to get the rate that I can possibly get or the concessions, like upgrades to suites, discount on food and beverage, no resort fee, parking waived.
So let me pause you right there because you're already sounding like if I was new to this, I'm already hearing a different language. I'm already going, what does he mean by incentives? What does he mean by, so I think what I'd like tools. Right. Yeah. What are the power tools? Because these are the tools that you use when you're doing the room blocks. A lot of people don't realize that they can negotiate some pieces into their room block that they might not know about. So let's start there. They know that they have to have a room block. They've they've understood other people's room block. They've clicked on the links. They booked their room through the website. They know the basics of a thing. But what are some of the things that they could do, that they could get, that they may not know about? Like, what is an incentive? Explain to people what an incentive is when it comes to a room block.
An incentive is different than a room block for a social or a corporate piece of business. Incentive trips are done, as we were discussing earlier, for corporations like pharmaceuticals, insurance company, banking, where they have contests and the top 25 get to go on a trip. I just recently booked a company down at the Cayman Islands, booked out of Tel Aviv, and their top 25 producers are allowed to go. So they're still in their contest. And once the contest is up, those employees get to go on the trip. Now, room blocks, let's take it with bride and groom.
Right.
So the bride calls a hotel and she gets a rate, let's say $200. She says, oh, can you do a block for my guest? Right. It has to be a minimum of 10 rooms for at least one night. Usually hotels are 2 to 3 nights.
Right.
Once that is done, the bride will get a link from the hotel, and that link will go out to all the guests with that particular rate.
Right.
Now, if you get us involved, we contact 20 hotels because we have a search engine that will send out a request for proposal for that bride across the board in any destination.
And I think that's important. It's important to realize that, it's already going to be a little bit of a time consumer reaching out to all these different hotels to find out what the rates are, and you can't trust Google search, because I know a lot of people go onto Google, they click on the map where their hotel is, where their venue is located, and they have all those little prices that come up, when that's what I used to do.
No, it's true.
It's very hot wire.
Those rates are for individual rooms.
And plus, we have a response within 24, 48 hours with the proposal from different hotels, from different destinations.
Correct.
Right.
That being said, there's a lot of time saving for the bride and the groom, to get proposals and different rates and concession, which we're going to explain after.
So that's actually where I was going. I didn't mean incentive, I meant concession. So I really want to, you're a bride, and let's say they're not going to hire you, right? They are trying to do this themselves. What do they need to know before they walk into this? What are some of the founding pieces, like what you just said? What are some of the comps? What are some of the things that they could possibly ask for based on the number of rooms that they need? Yeah.
So going back to the minimum of 10 rooms, they would have to talk to a sales manager, not the front desk. The sales manager will give them the rate. When I was at the Hyatt, I would do a few wedding room blocks.
Right.
When I was on property, I wouldn't give them a discount or concessions for bride and groom. So right off the bat, hotel sales managers are not going to all of a sudden give these upgrades, resort fees waived, concessions.
Right.
So they have to ask, is it possible, can I get a discount rate, or at least 10% off the rack rate?
Right.
Can I get any food and beverage discounts? I noticed your parking was $40. Can I get it for $20? That has to be taught to a bride. Not every bride is going to understand that at all. And that's where we come in. And because I understand that they're actually going to get more concessions and a discount on their rooms. Once we do an RFP on Cvent, which is the search engine, Roberto and I asked, we want comp upgrades at the same group rate. I can't have the rate over 200, even though they're selling 350 online. I have no resort fee, no parking fee. I asked hotels.
And sometimes, the bride, they don't even know, but hotels, sometimes they give out spa treatment for free, especially for brides. And
even concessions like that, correct.
Right.
Or at least a 20, 25% discount. So, and it all depends also from how many rooms they're going to request, because the bigger is the group, of course, you get more concession and the concession will be bigger.
So I'm gonna actually even go even simpler, because just FYI, if somebody's out there and listening, RFP means request for proposal,
Correct.
right? So because a lot of people are going, what is an RFP? What does that mean?
True. Acronyms, you're absolutely right. Not everybody has the acronyms down. Sure.
And no, and this world that we're talking about, acronyms are everything. I mean, we use acronyms like they're vowels. It's crazy. So the other thing that I wanted to make sure that people understood is that when you're talking, because you mentioned earlier that you would need to then reach out to a sales rep, that is not your catering manager. So if somebody's been building their wedding and they've been dealing with a catering manager, there are times that the catering manager will help negotiate that block, or they've been given a certain amount. But a lot of people need to understand that the hotel is broken into two pieces. There is a catering side and there is a sales side.
Correct.
And they do not meet.
They don't. Even though they cross over, because I need catering for a particular large group, but social catering is different.
But I think that's important to tell people is that, look, just because you're spending $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 at your wedding does not mean that the hotel is automatically going to give you great rates because you're already spending a ton of food, because they're two totally different departments with two totally different budgets. And so, that's actually one of the things that people walk into a lot of times without realizing. It's like, well, I'm spending so much money. Why wouldn't they want to, work with me on the rate? Well, if you gotta think about it as two separate entities and what is important for those two entities.
Well, I mean, say a bride's getting married in December, which is, Christmas
prime.
Season.
Prime.
There may not be occupancy over those specific dates, even though she says, "Oh, I need 10 rooms, 15 rooms."
Right.
The rate's going to be, rack rate what you're going to know online. So, again. We can discount it, of course, because we understand. But they're still going to have to ask those questions, or they can ask the sales manager, is there a sister property nearby? Is there somebody that you have a relationship with that I can reach out to if that host hotel that they're having their wedding in is sold out?
What's rack rate? Let's start there. What do you mean when you say rack rate?
A published rate. So if somebody went to Hyatt, here's they say, 66.com, there is a rate published online for any specific date. Now those rates change depending upon the occupancy of a night. So say a Friday night is 90% occupancy, they're going to raise those rates. And the director of revenue goes in every single day and changes those rates. So that's why you look at one rate, and then a week later, it could be $100 off.
Well, and I think that's important for people to understand that in the hotel world, there is a person whose job is to get as much money as humanly possible for every single room in that hotel. Right. There is a formula that is used, and it is like watching Tetris.
They sell it twice on the same night.
It's so true.
Right?
Then you have hotels.com, booking.com.
Oh, God.
Last-minute hotels where, people use their phones. This is a computer. People are very savvy now. They go on and they try to get a rate. Now, those, what we call opaques, which is the online booking search engines, are 25% higher than what the rack rate would be. However,
that's interesting.
For the knowledge for a bride, if they in fact call directly and talk to a sales manager and basically be nice and say, I'm having my wedding there, they'll get a discount.
Yeah, they would. Right. All right. So then another big piece. So you're like got your 10 rooms. You're at the Lowe's. They hand you the contract. You're reading through it.
What is
one of the biggest things for people to pay attention to in the contract when it comes to finances? Because there's two different types of room blocks. First, there's a courtesy block, and then there's a contracted block. So people need to understand that a courtesy block means you're not financially obligated at all, right? Yeah. But you're not going to have the same amount of discounts, and you're not going to have some of the perks that come with a paid, right? But when you're talking about a contracted block, I always tell people the number one thing that you need to look at is attrition. What is your attrition?
Correct.
Explain what is attrition.
I thought I let them talk.
Yeah.
Well, attrition normally it's like, say, standard is probably about 20%. That being said, if you have a room block of 10, to make it easy, 10 rooms, you're obligated only to actually pick up 8 rooms, and they will not let you pay extra for the 2 rooms if you don't actually book those 2 rooms. So it's a lot of saving money for the bride, especially if she does a contract, because that point, if you have 20 people coming and then 4 of them they're not showing off, she's not going to be paid for the extra room. So that's a lot of saving, well,
and it's a forgivable amount. I tell people it's a forgivable amount. Your attrition is a forgivable amount. So
like an insurance. It's like an insurance. You have that slip.
It's very Groupon-y.
It is, but you definitely want to make sure it's in there. You definitely want to make sure that you have some attrition, especially if you're a contracted block, because it gives you a little wiggle room.
It really does, and that goes under concessions as well. And we ask 30%. Are we going to get it? We don't really know. Brides wouldn't know to ask that. If it's a contract, the bride is financially obligated contractually. So if she doesn't pick up those rooms, she's going to get billed for those rooms.
Yep.
On a courtesy block, which I have done many of, what happens is the hotel says, no problem, I'll give you that because occupancy is low over that specific date. But I'm only going to give you that rate until 30 days prior to check-in.
Yes.
That way hotels can make up that revenue that they could potentially lose if they held the rooms up until the day of the event. Where contracted rooms, they're a little safer. They may go down to like 15, 20 days. So their guests would have to make those room reservations within 15, 20 days. It gives you a little bit of leeway when you're contracted or financially obligated. You still get the link from the hotel. And what I mean by that is once they book, the hotel reservation system gives you a link that says Smith Jones Wedding. That link will take you right to reservations and you can make those reservations underneath that block at that given rate. So it's good to keep track. So if a bride says, how many rooms did I pick up?
Yeah.
The reservations can print that out. You send it to the bride. So that's something they may want to understand, that they can do that it protects them.
Yeah, but all of this sounds fairly boring to us. I mean, if I was listening to us on this, I'd be like, "Oh, contracts.
Where are the jobs?"
But the thing is it's important. It's important because if COVID didn't teach us anything, it taught us to learn how to read these damn contracts from start to finish. Because a lot of people got screwed hardcore because their contract didn't include even a force majeure. I saw a contract that didn't even include a force majeure. Like they were still contractually obligated for those rooms, even though you couldn't go anywhere. Like everybody.
So that's very good. So that is very important to have that in the contract, and that's unforeseeable circumstances. Right. Well, we make sure that our clients and the hotel are protected.
Right.
So now more than ever, force majeure is important to have it in the contract. So, and what that means is the client would not be financially obligated if there was a flood, if there was a hurricane, anything act of God. Now we add pandemic, unfortunately, war. That way they can get out of their contract, they can do anything they want, and they'll get their deposit back, or they can change their date to a later date and just use that deposit.
Oh my God. See, this is why you need professionals in your life, because I can just imagine a bride is sitting there and she just got through all of the negotiations of the actual wedding contract. And now all of a sudden here comes a salesperson. Hey, you need a room block. La la la. Okay, come and talk to me for 2 hours.
Another concession that would be good for a big wedding, and you plan to have, say, 80 rooms, you can always ask the hotel, hey, can I lower my room block 60 days prior?
Correct.
Right.
And that way, if you see 60 days prior, you're not having all your family and friends join and coming to the wedding, you can lower and do not be responsible
financially
for,
obligated. That's true. That's true. That's a very
wow. Marcy, I know Marcy's been dying to ask a question. I just keep talking, but I get her little signal, and I'm like, okay.
Help me, Marcy.
So courtesy block was actually on my list of things to discuss. So I'm glad you discussed that. I did want to point out, and I think I'm right on this, but you'll correct me if I'm wrong. Courtesy block will allow people to hold the rooms. Not necessarily hold the rooms, but it will allow the guest to book at a reduced rate, but there is no guarantee. Is that correct?
Good question. That guarantee, usually the hotel will hold it 30 days prior.
Right.
That way, most hotels will make up the revenue. Remember, they take the block of rooms, they take it out for the Smith-Jones wedding.
Mm.
So when it's a courtesy and they're like, no problem, we're going to give those 30 rooms back to the hotel if you didn't pick up one room. That way it protects the hotel. Remember, client, hotel, you wanted a win-win. And that's where the force majeure comes in. If I could go back for a minute, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Do you have force majeure in your contracts?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Sounds like really fancy soup, and I'll take two.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, it is fairly dry when you talk about that, but there's so many nuances in these contracts.
This is how I got my intro into the hotel world. Actually, I was in group catering. Group reservations. So I was the group reservations coordinator. So I was seeing a lot of the big rooms, big room blocks for a 900 hotel room, hotel. So that's why I was asking those questions. But the other question I want to talk about is if you could explain a little bit more to people who are listening what a shoulder date is on both sides, what it does for the client and what it does for the hotel.
Oh, you're talking about 3 days before, 3 days after?
Yes.
Okay.
You mean the pre and post rooms?
Pre and post dates. Yes.
Oh, okay. Because there's another terminology in the business for shoulder dates, which is in Florida it would be right after Easter.
Yeah.
September, October. So there's shoulder dates.
That's true.
The low season.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
Yes.
I understand.
You know that too. They're going to get discounts on those shoulder dates throughout the year, depending upon the destination.
Well, and that's the thing is you got to even know what that is and when they are, because there's some major discounts that can happen as people that have come from the hotel industry, as most of us have. Knowing these kind of insights can save thousands of dollars.
Yes.
For people, and a whole lot of extra reduced hassle because. I mean, if you're bored listening to us right now, imagine how sleepy-eyed you're going to get when you actually get this contract and you're just going to sign it and then move on. And then what happens if something doesn't go perfectly right?
Yes.
You have nobody that you can really rely on. So it is important to have somebody come in but at least have some base knowledge like what we're doing right now. Have some base knowledge. I want you to, so this is one of my favorite things that I get from brides all the time. We got a great room block contract going. Beautiful rate. Love it. Amazing. Somebody, one of their girlfriends, usually the maid of honor, not that I'm saying anything about maids of honor, I will get a text saying, I don't understand why, I just went on Orbitz and Lowe's has a rate of $210 and ours is $400. Why can't we get that rate for everybody?
Well,
this happens to you.
Yeah. Well, this happened. But basically, third-party companies like Orbitz or Expedia, they only have a certain amount of room they can have that rate. That being said, they probably have 10 rooms or 8 rooms. So if you are a group of 20 people for a wedding, you will not ever be able to book on Booking.com that particular rate for 20 rooms. You will only be able to book 10 rooms. And sometimes you're not even able to because, of course, only 10 rooms be available. You're not the only one looking for that particular rate. So, and then what I was going back to for the pre and post that you were asking, Marcy, sometimes it's very important to pay attention. They do not add based on availability. That when they put in the concession list, you want to request same group rate 3 days pre and post no based on availability, because at that point the hotel can say, hey, I'm 90% occupancy and that particular date is going to be $200 more.
Yeah. Very,
Oh.
very
So,
important.
There it
Oh,
is.
I mean, it's such a
Yahtzee.
small little thing.
little things that you
It
need
is.
to pay
And-
attention to.
And it,
Based
and
on
it's one of the
availability.
reasons. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but based on availability, I love that. And you're like, no, I want to have that same
Yeah.
rate regardless
Exactly.
of availability.
Oh,
Very
if it's
good
in the
point.
contract,
And
they're
most of
going to
the
get
time-
it.
For going back to the third-party companies, the Expedia, etc.
Right.
Yeah.
It happened to me, with a group. I had a group in one of the hotel, the Hilton Hotel, and we had a great group rate. We had over 150 rooms, and all of a sudden, on Booking.com was 189. So at that point, you call obviously the DM and general manager and discuss over it, because hotel will give you, and either they shut down the third party companies or they will grant you the same rate that they have online.
Right.
That 189. So it did happen to me. So there's always space for negotiation with
there
the
is.
hotel if it's
A bigger room block.
side, yes.
Well,
So Roberto or
Sorry.
Michael, would you liken that to maybe like an airplane seat where you only have so many seats or rooms that are available at this price, and then it bumps up to the next tier?
Perfect
Yes.
example. Exactly.
yeah,
And it depends on occupancy. If the hotel is running a 95% occupancy over that bride's group, and somebody does orbits, they're going to get a much higher rate.
Well-
Like I said, these are computers. People are savvy. Either the hotel is going to drop the rate to the group rate, and we've had that done.
Mhm.
But again, it comes from a middleman like us to do that. Brides won't be able to get it if they called their sales manager. It's just not going to happen.
Plus, it's all about relationship with the hotel.
Exactly.
The
Well, but,
manager, director of sales, the general manager.
Sure.
I tell people all the time, it's like, look at those things like orbits and these kind of things as advertising.
Yeah.
Yes, they're gonna do a rate that's really incredibly low because they want people to pay attention to that hotel.
And they want to fill their hotels.
but-
the last minute.
But don't expect that for your general block. It just doesn't happen. They've only given 1, 2, or 3. In some cases, just one. I've seen it where they only had one at that rate at an Orbitz. And it's like, they're doing it for marketing purposes. So don't assume that you're going to be able to get that rate for your room block. It just doesn't exist.
It's very like airline, like you can have unsalted peanuts and would you like a warm towel?
Well,
Your cheeseburger will be on a golden charger.
it's kind of like,
That's true.
they used to do those.
I'm
those
hungry. I want that cheeseburger.
Right. They
And
used to
then
do
warm
those
towel.
specials, right? They used to do
I'm
those
calling
specials
you.
where they'd say one way $99, limited availability. And that's kind of the same thing that we're talking about here. It's like, same thing. It's like they want people to notice it. And they, maybe it's an urging to get people to come down to South Florida. There's advertising and marketing campaigns that are happening behind the scenes with all of that as well. So, oh my God, let's not get into that world.
But people have had a lot of time through this pandemic.
Yeah.
And they're going on their computers and they're like, oh my God, when should I have my wedding? Look at this. I'm up. That's why they were reaching out to you guys during the pandemic. They're like, I'm going to use this as leverage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that you guys have gone through that.
Oh gosh. Well, and the thing is that Michael, you're working on a room block for me right now for a December wedding, and some of those hotels that are on South Beach are at $600, $700, $800 a night already. It's crazy.
Can't wait for Christmas.
Really, really is crazy to see because of our search engine reaching out to 20 hotels at one time, and
Right.
once they're answering.
Yeah.
They're all over the map. You got the
Okay.
one hotel offering $800, and then the Shelbourne, I have a relationship with them, is $200.
Right.
So at the end of the day,
It's just incredible. It really is incredible. And I do love the fact that you have a system that goes out to multiple hotels. But Oh, and this is where that question comes in. So I was looking at your signature line, and I noticed at the very bottom it said partner with preferred hotels and resorts, Starwood Hotels, Marriott Hotels, Hilton Worldwide. And what does that mean at the bottom? Why? What does it say? Why do you partner with?
Good question.
We basically have a relationship and particular rate with most of these brand hotel.
Right.
And where we are able to receive, particular discount on the published rates. So this is one of the reasons we are also able to get a special rate that is not available to everybody.
Got it. So this is you have a special relationship with these hotels.
We do, and
you to have a better rate than I could get or anybody else could get because
And then there's the list.
right. Then you have, but that
we have a corporate account with them. So
right.
At that point, everything is also the concession are higher, and we receive more than a normal person, a normal bride would be able to.
Correct. Yeah.
I say that to brides all the time. And it's like, look, you're a one-off, right? You're one wedding. I'm going to be the returning person that brings the weddings, brings weddings more and more, right? So I'll get a better price point than you will because I do a lot more events with them. So there's one reason to have a wedding.
Exactly the same thing. It's true. They want our business,
And the thing is that for brides to use our services, it costs nothing. Because
that's the other thing.
We don't charge.
I don't think people realize that it costs zero to use you.
It's a free service that we offer. So
correct.
It's really, it would be silly not to,
It really would be. I mean, that's at the end of the day, I find this crazy because obviously, a wedding planner, you got to pay. Sorry, we're not getting anything on the hotel side. Sorry, guys. But but your income is coming from the sale of these rooms.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're not having to charge the client.
No.
Correct. Yeah, the hotel pays us.
Yeah.
Because we bring them the business.
Correct.
Yeah, but so not only do you get a much better rate than anybody else, but you're also getting paid by somebody else too. So it's like, what? Okay. I don't even know how that all works. We're not going to get into it because that's a lot of, right? That gets into a whole lot of messy, and I don't want to. What do you think? How should people think about what size their room block should be? That's a question that comes up constantly. It's like, I have 100 people coming in and I always ask how many people are coming in from out of town.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I've got 60 people coming in from out of town.
Mm-hmm.
How do they judge what size room block they really need?
You know what? Start at 10, start at 20, start at a number and then watch the reservations come in. So if their wedding's next year,
right,
and within 3 months, they're already at, half their block, you raise the block.
Right.
Plus, it also depends, you can also say, if you have a 20% attrition,
right,
back to the attrition,
right,
you say, okay, I have 100 people coming out of town, I need to sell 80 rooms.
Right.
I can probably do 80 rooms instead to do 100.
Right.
That being said, I have 16 rooms that I still have leverage on. So, it all depends,
Sure.
the contract that you have with the hotel.
Well, and then also people need to understand that it's based on total room nights. And I think a lot of people forget that too, that the concept of I've got people coming in for multiple nights. My contract is for a specific number of room nights. Okay. So if I have one person that comes in and spends a whole week, well, they just took up seven
rooms.
7 of your rooms out of your block.
Yeah.
Correct. And they go towards the number of room nights because contractually and financially, they are responsible for total number of room nights.
That's it. Not total number. Not total number of rooms, room nights.
Correct. Yeah. So somebody, especially here in Florida, and we're dealing with it right now with one of the weddings, your wedding in December. Right. I'm sure that the rooms were available 3 and 3. And the reason why, it's December, it's cold. People are coming in. They're like, you know what? Let's take the kids or just make a week out of it.
Right.
A vacation out of it. So that's another reason too that we extend the block.
So when we talk about 3 and 3, and this has happened to me a bunch, and I don't think people really realize how difficult it really is to manage a room block situation unless you know what you're doing. Because ultimately, I will get a call from somebody that says, "Oh, our room block is full," And I'm like, that's not possible. We literally just opened it. There's no way our rooms is going to be. And so you call, and I call, and they're like, no, but I got plenty of rooms. And I'm like, okay, well then, what day did they try to make a reservation? And they say, oh, they tried to come in on Wednesday. Well, your room block wasn't covered on Wednesday, and so the little reservation person that at the 800 number who won't go any further and then going, oh, it's telling me no rooms are available. Because it's saying no rooms are available, and so they just assume that.
Plus, the 800 number reservation people, they don't even know what
it's
all about.
Care. Exactly.
They don't care. They really don't.
That's where the bride, and this is very important for brides when they are calling by themselves or not using us, they have to set that up in their contract. Otherwise, they're going to get that pushback.
Oh, it's horrible.
Like, Wednesday it's 500, but during your 3-day block it's 240. Whatever. And, so that's something they should ask directly to the sales manager.
Well, and I think that's important for them to understand is that if it's not in your contract, the rate could be outrageous pre and post if you don't specifically have it in there.
It's not always $29 each way, honey.
Exactly. and make sure that you've got some space before and after, because you will have one or two people that decide they want to come super early or stay a couple extra days. So make sure that it's in that room block that, you at least have one room 3 days before and 3 days after your
correct.
Especially in Florida.
100%, especially during the winter. They're not going to come for 1 or 2 nights. They're going to
Florida, California. I mean, any destination that is by the sea, by the ocean, you have to. There's no way around.
So, okay. Past the boring stuff, because I think we've talked to room blocks to death. You have another part of your company that is travel.
DME tours.
Yes, tours. Okay, when I think tours, I think a bus full of people going to a church, filing out.
All of a sudden, I'm like back on the ranch.
Right. Explain a little bit about
that. I'm glad you think of that because, like I say in our tagline, we like to interrupt the ordinary, which is typical of you.
And the extraordinary. Girl interrupted.
Oh, I'm just saying. Here we go. No. But okay, so you've got this. I mean, first of all, I'm surprised that you had, if anything, luxury around you. Let me just say. No, I'm totally kidding.
Sorry.
No, they were friends.
Oh, it's nothing Roberto's fault. Okay, got it. Now that makes sense. I totally.
I'm from South Jersey.
In case we have a booking with them in December, it'd be nice.
Right. Exactly.
I want to meet these people.
Oh, you're gonna love them. They're amazing. Like I said, I've known Michael for a really long time, so we're always a little snarky with each other. But I'm fascinated with this part of your company, this luxury travel. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, basically, the way we organize tours. First of all, we don't do more than 12, sometimes max 14 people, and for one reason. First of all, we don't like use motor coaches for transfers. So we like to use normally sprinters, with Mercedes and AC, Wi-Fi. So we'll pick you up at the airport once you land, if it's whatever. Normally we do most of our tour in Italy, obviously, because I'm from Italy.
Right.
But we did some tours in Germany, in France, in Spain. And what we do, basically, we pick you up. You don't even have to think anything about it. Your name will be on a sign. We'll pick you up at the airport. Private transfer to a hotel, which is normally we use 4- and 5-star hotel. Mm-hmm. And we never use hotels that are outside the city center because most of the companies that I've seen in United States using outside hotel to be a little bit cheaper.
Right.
But then you have to spend money for transfer, either a taxi or an Uber or a metro to go in the city center and be able to, tour the city.
Right.
You had me at luxury. You had me at Mercedes. I mean,
exactly. Plus,
I want my Jerry Springer sign that says summer run sign or something.
Oh my God, your Jerry Springer sign. That is awesome. I totally can see that.
Our main concern is not stress you out when you
Right.
go into a tour. So we're never going to pick you up at the airport in Rome and drive you 5-6 hours because people don't know geography of Italy. They drive you right away to Venice for one night in Venice and then drive back down to Florence.
Correct.
Right.
So what we do, we take you to the hotel. We give you one night free so you can relax. The jet lag, you'll be able to recompose yourself, get all your stuff out, and you spend the first 3 days in the first city of arrival, which can be whatever.
Well, and you know, and obviously this is, if you're going to go to Italy and or do anything that is, you know, especially now, we all know more and more that we're all about the experience, and you know, how you feel is just as important as where you are.
Correct.
You know, and exactly. Still going to eat. So I love the idea that you take care of everything.
Yes.
They're like,
you don't have to do anything.
No.
You just have to enjoy, honestly. And again, thanks to our meeting company, we have the connection also in Italy with the hotels. And because we have partnership with the brand hotel, you know, I can get the same low rate all over the world.
Sure.
So it doesn't matter where it is that you want to go. I mean, I'll be able to get the same rate. Of course, it depends on the destination of the, you know, the catering of the hotel, if it's a 4-star, 5-star, or whatever. Super luxe.
because these are worldwide brands. So these brands are all over, you know, all over the world, and these brands have lots of other subcategories that we might not even know about, like you know, like Aloft and AC and these other hotels, or Marriott.
We have a lot of, you know, partnership with local independent hotel in Italy, for instance, on Lake Como, right? It's so famous, blah blah blah. I mean, there are like beautiful mansions. There are people don't even know, but they are like boutique hotels.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and you know those because you're from there.
Yes. So
and apparently that sponsorship that by Lowe's that I don't know anything about.
Yeah, well, you know,
I
actually
shout
love
out.
Lowe's. Yeah,
Christina,
you know,
bring me the
it's-
axe from aisle 9. I'm like, say Lowe's one more time, please.
So as well, you know, once you get to the destination, which is whatever,
right?
Now we're talking about Italy, for instance. We don't send you to do the Vatican tour by yourself. You have a assigned tour guide recognized by the Vatican,
right,
to know the entire story of the Vatican and all the museum, and you will have your own private tour with that particular person.
Chauffeured in a Mercedes.
And
I know, I just love it.
and
Cheers, I need some time off.
I managed to have.
Boys, are you ready? Fill it up.
She's so ready. She's like, take me in my Mercedes and take me on.
I want to eat that whole boot. I just want to the whole thing.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my
Can I
goodness.
do like a 2-week like notice from there? Like
Yeah, I
email
know.
works, right?
Yeah, but you know, I mean, we did a couple of private tours when we went to Russia. We did, and I have to say, thank God we did a private tour. We did it in a separate company, not part of the cruise ship, not part, you know, that's very reputable. And man, the difference in what we got to see and where we got to go was incredible. I mean, there were people that were on that cruise ship that didn't see a tenth of what we saw at the Hermitage and the other places.
Guide, because sometimes you go into museum, you look around, but you don't know where you're even looking. If there's someone that explain you actually what is particular statue or that painting or whatever. I mean, unless it's Mona Lisa, everyone knows it.
It's true.
Even though it might not be the real Mona Lisa. So that's
But I agree. You get a lot more out of the experience overall by having a guided tour. I mean, I've done a couple myself. I've gone to Israel. I've gone to Canada, west part of Canada, and I did the guided tours. And I have to say that those were the best experiences I got to feel, because I got so much more out of it than had I just gone myself.
Yeah.
I just went on a boat.
Do you do cruises too? Did I hear you do cruises? Or Roberto, I heard that you were on a cruise. Maybe that was it for an incentive meeting.
We basically, I have a couple of clients. They organize charter.
Yeah.
We do charter and we do music team cruises. So I work with 14 different cruises, and which are, they expand from jazz cruise, smooth jazz cruise, rock and romance, flower power, country music.
So a whole cruise dedicated to music. Oh my God.
Exactly.
As long as you took the Mercedes there, who cares? I mean, get on a dinghy.
Oh my
Two
God.
flags.
Brooke, you're with me. Trust me.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You guys, it was amazing. I can't believe 45 minutes went by actually a lot quicker than I anticipated. So I hope that you're going to stick around for After the Veil, because that's when we get to have a little bit of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the part where I'm like, I have to go pee, but I do come back. I'm just always there. I know I can't make a sandwich that fast.
Oh my goodness. All right. So quick word from our sponsor, and we'll be right back with After the Veil.
I, Ava, wonder if our guests would be here on time.
If we had a custom wedding website.
With our ceremony details on it.
And I, Taylor, would pick Zola to have and to host our wedding website. Ours even matched our Zola invites. The whole thing was so freaking easy.
Do you think Zola could have made planning your perfect wedding easier?
We do. I do.
We've helped a million couples plan their weddings with free websites, registry, and invitations. Get started for free at Zola.com.
Oh my God, I'm so glad to have you back. Hey, Mike. So all of a sudden, that's one less person. I guess Roberto had enough of us. He's like, bye.
He has a client, yes.
Oh, is that what we're? Is that in quotations? Was that a client in quotations?
No.
Oh, okay, an actual client. Oh my goodness. So first of all, I it's been a week. I don't know about y'all, but it has been a week. I mean, the events are coming back so fast, and oh my God, I'm treading. I'm barely treading, trying to keep my head above water, and I'm actually going to get to a point where I'm going to have to stop taking clients. And I'm like, I know.
No. Hire somebody.
I know, but still, it's like it's a little crazy. I mean, I'm kind of on the first side of it, so I know your business is about to just go crazy.
Yes.
Honestly, I am working full time again.
Yeah.
Big time.
It's crazy how we've just made a full turn.
Next year is going to be unbelievable. The traveling is going to be crazy.
Right. What states still are not allowing U.S. citizens?
In Europe?
Yeah.
It's England. You have to do 5 days of quarantine now.
Yeah.
Also, if you test negative, it doesn't matter.
Right.
And then France as well. Italy, you can go,
Right.
but it's not suggested because Italy, like France and Spain, they're still like in a partial lockdown.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work to go anywhere unless the store.
No buffet and boozing in the boat right now.
No, but Canada, you can't go to Canada. You can't go to Mexico. You can't go to, right?
Exactly. Yes. You can go anywhere.
You can go throughout the Caribbean now. Mexico, Cancun, Cozumel, Puerto Rico, Aruba.
All of them.
Curacao. Yeah, you're allowed to do that without quarantining. I don't know why. But because
they need the money. Because let me just say, I am so angry at the fact that cruise ships have not been allowed to cruise. I find that ridiculous.
And now they want to pull out if they don't get to start off again, which is really concerning.
Yeah.
But, I mean, everything else is open. They allow people to fly.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that basically for the cruises, when they're charters, it's up to whoever chartered the ship.
Right.
Like my client, they mandate the vaccine. So if you want to go on a ship with them on a cruise, you have to have the vaccine done.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So the thing is, the CDC, they still did not give an official date for reopening the cruises. It was up 2 weeks ago, was October 31st.
I've got cruises, man. I got cruises over the summer. They need to open them now. Yeah.
Usually it takes like 5 a year, that poor thing.
I know.
Didn't you have something like 5 of them booked or something?
I did. I had five cruises booked, and one after the other kept getting canceled. I mean, this has been going on since last March. So the pandemic hit literally 2 weeks before I was going to go on a cruise, and I had the best room. I had it was on the front of the ship, and the balcony was like 3 times the size of the room. It was awesome. I love
the bad joke.
You love that stuff.
Missed the boat on this.
And then of course
the COVID cruise, honey.
Oh God! And they shut it down, and I was damn it. And I thought I'm never going to get that room again. Well, lo and behold, that same
the junior captain suite.
Yeah, right. That same ship, that same room came back open, and I was like, yes. And we got it twice. So we got a 3-day cruise and a 4-day cruise back to back. Right? They got canceled.
Well, because think about the flight. You're together for 4 hours, and and we know that airplane they changed the filter system or whatever they did.
Right.
But, on the cruise ship, I don't know if they did that.
Yeah, but casinos are open.
Yeah, but I know.
And you know how nasty those people are. Tapping that button. The lady with her cigarette.
The shit out of that machine.
Yeah, right. Exactly. They're going like this, and
bingo.
Yeah, bingo.
Good luck.
But I mean, and casinos are open, and they're nasty.
Honestly, but they say because the close encounter 2,000 people. I mean, 3,000 people depends from the ship.
Yeah,
there can be 6,000 people on the ship.
But that to me, I'm like, they need to reopen it. Even if they say, look, we can reopen it, but you have to be vaccinated first. I am a huge proponent of that. Say, okay, great, open up, but put some rules in place, but let them open up for God's sakes.
Agreed.
In case Willard needs a vacation, darling.
Oh, I need a vacation. But here what we're talking about though is that now they're starting to think about leaving out of Bahamas. So they're like,
it's true. I did hear that the ports are questioning, should we do it out of
yeah, because that's what I'm saying. It's like, they're gonna figure out one way or another to reopen.
Yes.
And if
Somebody's got to watch those big boats.
Well, I'm just saying, and if we have to fly somewhere to get on a cruise, I'll do that. I don't care.
Yeah.
Little puddle jumper.
If islands are smart, they're gonna make millions.
Oh yeah.
Just make sure you get chauffeured in the Mercedes first.
Oh yeah. There. Look at her. She's like back in the Mercedes.
You're coming on one of our tours to Italy. That's that.
Look at her. Look at her. She's
all the highlights today. See, I knew something was gonna work.
She's so funny. Oh my God. I mean, well, and imagine trying to be in this industry because Michael, you and I left this industry. Well, I left this industry later than you. I mean, I got into the event side of it.
Yeah,
what is it? 5 years, 4 years? I've been doing this, and you were doing both. I know Roberto jumped ship first and was doing and then you were doing both. You were working at night on your own company. But can you imagine being in the event industry when this happened? I mean, I can't even imagine what catering managers and salespeople have been going through for the last year.
I feel so bad for them. I really do.
You just go, holy crap. Because we have lots of friendships still in the hotel industry, and I'm like shocked at how first of all, how good they've done it. I mean, how they've persevered, because there have been some incredible stories of people really overcoming some crazy restrictions, or out of work for 6 months, 8 months, a year, and that are just now
careers. I see a lot of realtors. I see a lot of people who went into IT. I see a lot of people who went into insurance.
Yeah.
And return.
Or this happens. Happy 1 year anniversary this month.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 year anniversary of the show. Yeah.
I haven't figured out the date yet. I will, but it is April. I do know that.
But that's the thing is like, it's just crazy to see what people have come up with. And what they've done to survive. But my God, I feel a little bad because a lot of people are coming to Florida because Governor DeSantis, basically said, let everybody open. And so as much as I say, oh, that's horrible, but we're going to reap the benefits anyway.
Look at spring break. Yes. I mean, all these hotels were 100% occupied.
100% occupied.
With what? We have friends that are the only ones in the office.
Yeah.
They're doing like 3 to 4 people's jobs. I mean, we have a friend who works at the Renaissance, It's her and the DOS. Nobody in catering. So she's director of catering.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
100%
gosh.
sold out.
A friend of mine in
Wow.
Miami, he was called 2 days ago to change the bulb in the elevator because there was no maintenance.
Oh,
mean,
shit. Who's going to change the oil in the Mercedes?
I know, man. But you
I
know,
will someone to do that, bro.
something needs to be said about some of these hotels because, you know,
Call someone to change the
but you know,
You're cracking me up today.
right? But if the hotels are coming back like with that ferocity, they should be opening up. I know, like Hard Rock, they're not bringing their sales team back, their social catering team back. They opened up the corporate catering side, but the social catering, they had hired all these new people right before because of the guitar to do weddings and everything else, and nobody's been brought back. And I'm just like, oh.
So
I
who's
feel sorry for
handling
whoever
it
has
for
to watch
them?
those
Who's handling
windows in
social?
that car.
They're not doing social at all. They're not doing any social
None
at
of
all.
that?
Nope. They're only working on corporate
Okay,
stuff.
so
And
maybe we want to be that window washer then, because
well, exactly. But you know, it's sad because I know somebody that moved in from out of town, bought a house here just to get that job,
and lost their Mercedes.
and then 5 months later, they're
There's always the BMW.
you know, and I mean, and these are good people. I mean, we did the opening for the Hard Rock guitar, like
No, I
literally.
didn't get to go to that one, so.
Oh, I know, but it was amazing. But you know, I got to be part of the opening, and it was incredible. And then you think 6 weeks later, or whatever it was, I forget, 2 months later, it
Just
just.
because he didn't bring me boys, how rude.
Oh, that's why we had the world pandemic.
Well, I blame you.
I know, it's all about you. Did you see how she just created
kind
a
of
whole
off the
world
hook for that
pandemic?
one.
And she goes, "It's because you didn't bring me." That's why. That's why there's a whole
Blame it on the
pandemic.
window washer. Do not blame it on Mercedes.
Look, are you patient zero or what's
I
going on?
know, totally patient zero. She's looking at it. She's like, "I'm the prettiest patient zero you've ever seen."
I may feel that inside, but it's Tyler, baby.
Yeah. I just happened to be in Wuhan in January, right?
I like to see people smile. That's my
Oh
thing.
my god!
I see lots
Oh
of
my
teeth,
god!
So I'm good with the dental displays today.
Do you
That
have
I
a-
provided?
So, because you guys are on the tourism, do you see people like booking bigger trips than ever? Like I've noticed that a lot of people are so badly wanting to get out of town that they're just like, that they're doing it bigger. Like they're not like, so brides are not, so I'll break it down into brides. So my brides are coming to do this wedding, but now they're reducing their guest count, but because they can want to do more per guest. A bigger experience. And then I've heard that from a lot of people that are, you know, creating plans, that are starting to plan for the future, that they're not just going to go to Italy. Oh no, they're going to eat their way through Italy, and they've got stops all the way.
Sorry.
And yeah, you know, they're going to, sorry, Brooke. But you know that they're taking it to the next level. You know, they don't want to do the big bus tour. They want to do the private travel.
Yeah,
because
the Mercedes. That's the
I
thing. I want the Mercedes.
Jeez, I'm
And maybe a private jet from Rome to Paris.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, you have a client who just
I do.
booked a private jet. Yeah.
From from here to Paris.
You had me at private, and then you
No.
said,
No,
I was like, holy crap.
Where are they going? Miami too?
no.
That's going to be a nice short film. Patient zero on a private jet? What? Okay, somebody's turning this training off. It's
Oh
fine.
no, I'm letting you run. This is awesome.
It is too hot out.
I cannot wait to watch the playback on this
Boys,
one.
is it gas up? Does it come with a driver? I have a hat if not. Sure. You know, let me know. I can do a little quick break. You know.
Oh my god. I mean,
That is hysterical.
he's considering, huh?
Brooks
It's like someone just pulled the cord and wound her up today.
I know. I swear. What I mean, oh my god! I saw her this morning at 7:00 this morning, and she was not this chipper.
Rough night. Yeah. Rough morning.
Oh my god! All right, well, guys, it was a lot of fun. Thank you for staying on After the Veil, and thank you for
Yes.
all of your insight. So, if people want to get a hold of you, how would they do that? What's your email?
m.mcgee@diamondmeetings.com.
diamondmeetings.com. And for Roberto?
It's r.cosentino@diamondmeetings.com.
Perfect.
That's where I get the Mercedes from.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
And your website, www.diamondmeetings.com.
And on the website, you find the emails and phone number.
So, if you're a bride out there, get them involved with your room blocks. I guarantee you it will save you a mountain of trouble. But get me involved first, and then I will get them involved with your room block. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being on, and time to say bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.